1 Corinthians 13. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of a child behind me. Last month, I just turned 29. And throughout my 20s, I learned a lot of lessons. But some of the biggest life lessons that I learned didn't come from the things that I started doing, but came from the things that I stopped doing. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you 5 of the things that were holding me back the most that you need to stop doing today to elevate yourself. First and foremost, I stopped hanging out with dickheads. I stopped surrounding myself with bad people, stopped surrounding myself with the wrong people. When you're a teenager, when you're a child, you're a product of your environment. So the people that you hang around with are most likely people that you've gone to school with, people that you've grown up with, people that you live with, people that are close to you, family members. As we grow up, we start to learn that some of these people aren't healthy influences on the people that we are meant to be. Some of the people that I grew up with, I love them dearly. I love them with all my heart, but I started to realize as I got older and older that some of the habits that some of these people had weren't good for me. So yeah, first and foremost, one of the first things that I taught myself was to stop hanging around these people. If they're not helping to elevate you as a person, if they're not helping to elevate your mindset, if they're not helping take you to that next level, you need to cut them out of your life. And that's a really hard thing to do and to teach yourself, because especially when these are people that you have grown up with, people that you consider close friends, if they are not helping you, they're dragging you down. Step number 1, stop hanging out with people that are no fucking good for you. Step number 2, drinking and drugs. I've never had a real big problem with drinking or drugs. When I was a teenager, I used to binge drink a bit. I've never had a real problem with drugs or alcohol. I've never really been addicted to drugs, but I have taken drugs. And I have seen how easy it is to fall down those rabbit holes of taking drugs and getting addicted to drugs. I think from a young age, I seen how easy it was to become addicted to drugs, and I seen the effects of that through some close family members of mine. And for me, it was something that I didn't want to become, and I quite early on decided in my mind that that wasn't going to be the road that I was going to take. Drinking a handful of times throughout my 20s. I've never been a big into drinking every weekend, or unless it was an occasion or something. But drugs especially, I can see, like I said, from family members that have been reliant on drugs, that how it can hold you back from becoming who you want to be. There's all sorts of drugs. There's pharmaceuticals, there's weed, there's cocaine, there's, the list goes on and on. But from doing them, from experience, I know how good they feel. When I took them, I I felt how easy it could be to be reliant on that, and that scared me. That scared me to not wanting to take drugs anymore. Look, I'm not saying stop it completely, because I'm a person that believes in everything is all right in moderation, and if you use it properly, if you're relying on drinking, if you're relying on drugs, as soon as you start becoming reliant, or there are signs that you're becoming reliant, that's when it's got a problem, and that's when it's going to hold you back. You live your life. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and that I haven't done any of these things, but what I'm saying is, when drinking and drugs is your normal, when you're relying on drinking and drugs and these bad habits that are just, yourself that they're holding you back, this is something that you need to stop doing in order to elevate your mindset. The way I like to explain it is, it's putting fog on the glass. If your life is in front of you and you're looking through that glass, the drugs and the alcohol are putting a fog layer, are putting a tint over that, so you can't see where you're meant to be. Yeah, you might start getting in the right direction. You might be able to sort of, I've heard these terms of functioning weed smokers and stuff like that. Yeah, you might still be able to move forward, but the vision isn't going to be as clear as when you're sober and when you've got a clear mind. So step number 2 is to stop drinking and stop taking drugs. Now, step number 3 is quite simple, and it sort of relates to number 2, is I stopped eating shit food and stopped drinking shit. Like, not just alcohol, but like Coke or sugary energy drinks or, Fanta, juice, all that shit. Just drink water. Water is the biggest life hack that people don't even fucking realize. When you just start drinking a little bit more water all the time, yeah, it's not as nice tasting as Coke or Fanta, but it is crazy how much just drinking the amount of water you're supposed to drink every day changes your mindset. I only know this because I used to be addicted to sugary energy drinks. I used to smash back like 3 or 4 Blue V's a day when I was working in construction. It would like I used to smoke cigarettes like I used to smoke cigarettes like a train, and I used to drink blue energy drinks like I never drank water. And I would be wondering why I just get headaches all the time and would be feeling sick and not motivated and have no energy. Bro, I was putting bullshit into my body. The body is a temple, and like you are what you eat. And back when I was a teenager, I got to 145 kgs, and I was extremely depressed. I had anxiety all the time. I used to feel lower than you could ever imagine. And it was because of what I was eating and putting into my body. I was working out, but I wasn't eating the right foods. I'm not saying you can't have treats. I'm not saying don't treat yourself or don't have Maccas at all. Like I said, everything is good in moderation. You can have McDonald's, you can have KFC, you can eat all these things, but in moderation, as a reward every now and then, not all the time. When you're having Maccas every day and you're having KFC every day and you're wondering why you're getting fat and you're wondering why you're getting overweight and you're wondering why you're looking in the mirror and not liking what you're seeing, it's because of what you're eating. Start eating good kai and you'll start to feel the difference in yourself. The fourth thing that I stopped doing to help myself was I stopped being fucking lazy. I was a lazy fuck, bro. I was a lazy fuck. Like, I would train throughout my teenage years. Like, I would go to the gym and that. But other than that and work, I would do nothing. Like, I wasn't clean. I wasn't productive. I wasn't motivated to do anything other than lift weights occasionally and go to work. Like, that was my life, and go out with my mates. That was the most productivity I would do. It comes down to just making your bed. I think I read somewhere that your room or the state of your car reflects your mindset. If you've got a messy room, if you've got a messy car, you've got a messy mind. Start with those little things like cleaning your room, keeping a clean whare, the things that you have control over. Stress and anxiety don't just come from the things that you have no control over. Most of the time, stress and anxiety come from the things that we have control over, but we fail to do. Most of the time, we fail to do those things because we're just plain out being fucking lazy. So the moment that you stop being lazy, start doing the things that need to be done, start taking action to your goals rather than just thinking about them and not doing anything, is when you start to feel better. When you feel better, you have better results. Now, the fifth thing that I stopped doing was I stopped working for money and I started trying to make money work for me. Now, look, I'm not a millionaire, but from the books that I've read, one of the biggest messages that carries through all those books is to try and make money work for you. Now, that can be through ways of investing, through a business, through whatever. But whatever you're putting your money into, trying to make that money come back to you. Now, I say this because I used to work more than 9 to 5. I used to work 50, 60, 70 hours a week. I used to work for money. And that's all I knew was hard work. I was a hard worker. I used to work hours and hours at a job. And yeah, I'd get my paycheck at the end of the week. But because I would be so tired and so fatigued from the amount of mahi that I'd been doing, I wasn't worried about using that money wisely. I would just spend that money as I got it. So I would work for money. Now, what I try to do, what I've tried to teach myself, is to try and make my money work for me. The little money that I do have, I try to invest it into things that are going to bring that money back to me. I saved up a bit of money, I started a business, and that business started turning over money that was coming back to me, you know? So investing your money and spending your money in the right things to where it's going to make your money come back to you is going to help not just you as a person, it's going to help your whole life. Everything that we do revolves around money. Now, when I say I stopped working for money, that doesn't just mean I become lazy and I stop working. No, that means that the things I would spend my money on were different to the things that I used to spend my money on. So I taught myself to spend my money in the right areas. And like I said, it could be a business, it can be an investment, it can be spending money on a course that is going to help elevate yourself. Spending money on yourself for materialistic things like a t-shirt, for a hat, things that you're not going to get your value back from. You're basically burning your money, you're burning your energy, you're burning your time. You're never going to get that back. If you invest your money and spend your money on things that you will get back, a camera if you're going to film content. You might not get that money back by selling that camera because it goes down in value, but what you will get back is the videos that you film on that camera. Another example is a pen. If I bought this pen for $20, I can't sell this pen for $20, but I can write stories with this pen that are going to sell for money. You know what I mean? It could be on a course. You could invest in a course. So if I bought a course to help teach myself how to sell an online product, I'm not going to get my money from that course back. I'm not going to get a refund. I can't sell that course, but the value that I'm going to get out of that course is going to allow me to make money. So it's about spending your money on things of value. Value especially is in lessons, the lessons that you learn. But value could be in something that holds its value. So gold. If you invest your money into gold, your money's still going to be there. You know what I mean? You're not going to get your money back from a bottle of alcohol that you drink and piss against a wall. That's where your money's going, against the wall. So the fifth thing that I stopped doing was spending my money on bullshit. I stopped working for money and started making money work for me. So those are 5 of the things that I stopped doing to help elevate my mind and change my life. But before I leave, I just want to leave you with this quick Bible verse. It comes from Ephesians 4:22. You were taught to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created in true righteousness and holiness. Stop doing what's easy and start doing what's right. Stop being distracted by pleasures and your desires and start taking control of your own life. Modi Order.